inside Monster Gym. You know what? That's over 50,000 people going off. We're in Orlando, Florida at the Citrus Bowl. Do you love it or what? This is a show dedicated to monster trucks. But not only monster trucks, we got everything. Rough trucks, quad wars, ArenaCross, tractor pulling, tons more stunts, you name it, we got it. And of course, the Mac Daddy, Gravedigger, and all his buddies here catching big air. Let's start it all off with Monster Truck Madness and the Wave.
What's the best thing you like about monster trucks? Catching the air or what?
Yeah, catching it. They're just flying through that sucker. The way they come down, you don't know if they're going to flip or nothing.
It's funny. It's like I said to somebody else, it's like a hockey match. You know, you kind of want to see a fight.
Yeah,
you want to see one flip.
It's exactly what you want. You want to see one break in half. See these old boys back there with their wrenches trying to fix it, you know. I mean, you get your Fords and your Dodges and Chevys. You got the Chevy, which is the best. Because the most of them.
This is down-home fun, right?
Yeah, this is the best thing. Come on, bring your kids out here. This is what you have at a good time, you know.
Who better than Dennis Anderson's Gravedigger to kick off our first set of IMJ highlights? If you dare drive the digger, you better drive it hard.
The first two episodes of IMJ were voiced by Jerry Bernardo. After that, yours truly took over. How you doing?
Monster Trucks.
Who better than Dennis Anderson's Gravedigger to kick off our first set of IMJ highlights? Now, if you dare drive the digger, you better drive it hard, which is what Robert Parker does while qualifying against Devil's Dodge. He got to the next round, but found himself in a race against the clock to repair the broken axle he suffered from his winning run. Lots of work to do. Good luck in getting that fixed in time, Digger. Well, in the next round, it's Gunslinger, who has a tough time making the turn, and Little Tiger comes on to edge him out for the victory. On to Barefoot, who has no trouble shooting down the Gunslinger and then delivers the knockout blow to Thrasher in the semifinals.
Tensions mounting here at the Citrus Bowl. Gravedigger, broken axle. This guy might have to run solo. He's got about 15 seconds to pull out here. I think he might have got it fixed, but we're not sure. Yeah!
It's that kind of determination that makes Digger legendary on the United States Hot Rod Association circuit. He easily wipes out the Outlaw, but as our instant replay will show, Digger runs over the U-turn pylon, in essence digging his own grave with an automatic disqualification. A Little Tiger and Outlaw dueled in the semifinal round. It wasn't pretty, but the Little Tiger Chevy earns the right to go to the finals against Barefoot. We'll have the final showdown later in the show.
Coming up next on Inside Monster Jam, I got the Indie Industry BMX racing team. And let me tell you, these guys are insane. Oh, but then again, so am I.
But not as insane as these guys. Who are they? What are they doing?
Now we got the BMX boys, stars of ESPN2's Extreme Games. My buddy Adam Murphy did a little segment on them this morning. Let's talk to them, see what they're all about. I can't even see what's going on, but I know it's good. Listen to the band.
As far as our bikes, are all heavy-duty steel, 4130 chrome moly, super thick, beefed up in the areas you need to be beefed up in. This bike right here, it's custom-made. It's a one-of-a-kind. Of course, most rims, you go out to the bike shop, they have 36 spokes on them. This has 48 spokes on them. Double-thick walls, machined super thick steer tube and fork. It's got a gyro system on it so that when I'm spinning my bars and I need my brakes still to work, my bars will still spin, brakes still work the whole entire time around.
Yeah, there's quite a few backflips. Obviously everybody's favorite. You've got tail whips, 360s, nothings, Superman seat grabs. There's just a ton of tricks out right now.
I have this one's set up for flatland, so I have extra pegs and stuff like that, which has on their bikes. It's not like all pegs. It's a little less than what I have because I'm not really a jumper.
unmasked the man and found Rico Hawks, U.S. Hot Rod Competition Director. And the clown? Well, he's a clown.
Carolina Crusher, what are the specifics? Give me the inside scoop on what you're running.
Well, this is a 1996 Chevrolet. It's a fiberglass body. It has a 512 cubic inch Chevrolet engine in it. It's 871 blower. It's making about 1,200 horsepower.
And when you get a chance to put that power to the ground, it probably would be racing, but during freestyle, when you get to just show off. What do you like to do when you're out freestyling for the crowd?
Well, I like doing wheel stands. You know, I'm starting to become known for my donut. You know, sometimes I can pull them off, and sometimes when the dirt's real tacky, the truck ends upside down. But, you know, we always try to do that.
For me, the action is the truth.
Demolition Derby.
Carnage, mayhem, and destruction ruled the Astrodome as 30 American cars lined up to do battle inside the 80 by 200 foot competition area. With all the metal crushing going on down there, U.S. HRA officials extended the 20-minute event. Hey, could this be considered cruelty to animals? But you've got to believe me when I say Inside Monster Jam is the hottest new show on TV. Well, check this out. Kurt Amos drove 7 hours from Kansas City in the same car that he smashed his competition to oblivion with.
Outlaw Quad Wars.
Dating back to the Civil War, bad blood has flowed between North and South. Hopefully, this season's Outlaw Quad War series will resolve those differences once and for all.
When you don't fear or respect your opponent is when you're going to lose. So I do have the utmost respect for him, but if he doesn't have it for me, he's going to lose.
All I can say is just, you know, I mean, he better have his game in gear, because I have mine in gear, and I'm ready for anything he has to, any pull punches, I'm ready. I'll put him back.
Below the Mason-Dixon line, Captain Rich Tompkins has a formidable team South made up of co-captains Mike Studd, Hank DeHart, and Bobby Parr.
We're ready for some hard competition. We expect that from them also. Like last year, they didn't give us an inch, but we wouldn't give them an inch either, so we'll see what happens this year.
Team North is led by Captain Dan Allen, who will be relying on his veteran teammates and co-captains Randy Dinkins and P.J. Hall.
We are really pushing to just be the next competitive step ahead of them. And I don't think we need to turn around and look back. We're going to win it all.
With 100 points given to the winners, let the games begin. Louisville, Kentucky played host to round one of the Outlaw Quad War Series as Bobby Cox the Clown just avoids being the first casualty of the year. Now off the green flag, the first one of the season, it's Team North Captain Dan Allen in black and Team South Captain Rich Tompkins neck and neck. Neither one is willing to give up any ground, but on the final lap, Tompkins gives his all for the South and just edges out Allen for the checkered flag. After one event, it's the South jumping on the board first in what will be an exciting year in the Outlaw Quad War Series.
I'm standing underneath Reptoid with Mike Ott, competition director. A lot of rules and regulations here with monster trucks. Let's go through a little bit about tech inspection. What are you looking for here?
Sure, Jerry, we can do that. Okay, this is the main drive line where most of our problems are at. The engine with the supercharger, we're looking for the restraints to make sure they're all fastened down tight so that it doesn't come off. We're looking for motor side shields. In this area here, we want to keep any parts. If somebody should scatter an engine, this here will contain all the parts and pieces inside so they don't get out from underneath the truck. We're trying to protect the driver and the fans. Everything is contained. There's a lot of weight. This truck's weighing a little over 10,000 pounds, probably about 30 feet in the air at times. And when that weight comes down, a lot of things happen.
Okay, let's talk about the remote interrupter, the RR2. What's it called?
Remote ignition interrupter system. What it is it's a remote control unit, and we have control of the vehicle. So if something should happen to the driver, we can shut him off. That way, if anything can happen, or we see something that's not safe, we can shut the truck off remotely. We'll get Jim up there to start the vehicle up. Once he starts it, we'll have you take, and I'll give you the honors of testing this for us. All you'll have to do once the motor's running, we'll just take and he'll get a hands up signal to us and you'll shut him off.
Will you hold my mic?
Start her up! like ArenaCross and Stadium Motocross, you're going to love the most extreme motorcycle racing on the planet, SuperCross. The 1997 AMA Thor Parts Unlimited SuperCross series has been burning up the country. The series features all the superstars of SuperCross, including Jeremy McGrath, Jeff Imming, Larry Ward, Kevin Windham, Ezra Lusk, Doug Henry, Greg Albertine, Mike LaRocco, and Ryan Hughes. Whether it's a knack-knack, peel clicker, or Superman, these guys can do it all. Record-breaking crowds flock stadiums around the country to catch a glimpse of the ongoing saga between Imming and McGrath. With the 1997 season culminating in Las Vegas, it'll be a fight to the finish line for the #1 plate.
We caught up with this girl in Providence, Rhode Island. Do you know what the globe of death is? It's that like cage globe that motorcycles ride around inside. This girl stands in there.
In the middle of it?
What do you think?
Must be crazy.
We're going to talk to her, you know.
It has to be crazy. She has to be crazy.
If she keeps doing that, she's not going to be good looking for her. You know what I mean? Something might happen.
I understand. I wouldn't do it. I don't see how people do stuff like that.
When I'm working at a show where there's a lot of people, there's always something in my stomach that's just, I don't know, I don't think it's nervous, but there's always a fear. I never really thought about riding. He rode and my brother rode, and I was always looked at it. And then he wanted me to stand in the middle, and I was like, I stand in the middle. So when I was very sure about it before I stepped in. And when I was actually standing there, I'm thinking, what am I doing? You know, this is crazy. And so I did that for a while.
Yeah.
Well, you know, you have your chains come off, and little mishaps when, you know, you touch each other, and the routine has to be precise, and everything has to be perfect. And when something goes wrong, well, you know about it. And to give you a basic idea, the way the metal is, it's kind of like a cheese grater. So when you're sliding down, it tears you up, you know.
That's what aired. Here's what didn't. What kind of music do you like, Franny?
I like Smashing Pumpkins.
Why do you want to do this, Fran?
I started to ride, and I just wasn't into it, so I stopped. And then I met a man who told me I couldn't ride. And he said, no, you can't ride, you're a girl. You need to, you know, you don't have fast enough reflexes if something was to happen, and you shouldn't be in danger. And I went, and so.
What's it like being the Globe Girl?
I'm with my family all year and all the time, and it gets tiresome sometimes, you know, you're constantly with them and you just want to get away. But to be able to perform and make a living with your family is an unbelievable feeling.
Look at that girl go. Good thing she's not camera shy.
If it's got a motor and it takes gasoline, it's on IMJ. Guess what? It's time for the Jammer Question of the Week, where you, the fans, get to ask your questions about monster trucks, your favorite driver, and it's all good. And you know what? It's not this truck right over here, because it's not a monster.
And if you're here live, it is L-O-U-D, and that's loud! No, I mean it's loud. Was that loud? Huh? Huh? What?
Jammer Question of the Week.
Hi, my name is Chris, and the Jammer, and my Jammer question. Why are monster trucks so loud? Okay.
Everyone wants to be on IMJ. Notice who didn't make the final cut.
Why are monster trucks so loud? Hi, my name is Chris, and my Jammer question is, why are monster trucks so loud?
A, the muffler is from a crush car. B, there is no muffler but a header. C, the muffler has echo attachments.
Hi, I'm Tony Farrell. I'm the driver of the Wild Thing monster truck. I have the answer to this week's Jammer question. The reason these monster trucks are so loud is nobody runs mufflers in these things. We run what they call an open header. If you look back in here, it's just short little pipes. It's for the raw horsepower. And when we get going wide open, these things are super loud.
It was raining in L.A., downpour, drizzling, and the monster trucks, they had to get down in the mud.
Monster trucks.
Whoever said it never rains in Southern California missed Monster Mania inside the LA Coliseum. But at IMJ, we keep our camera lenses clean to bring you all the action. Now, if you thought a little of the wet stuff would dampen the spirits of the fans, you'd be wrong, because the wetter the better. So let's go racing. At least try to go racing, because the mud wreaked havoc all night for the Monsters. Even Dennis Anderson's Gravedigger was no exception. During qualifying against Busted Loose, he gets water in the electrical system, forcing him to drop out, but not before giving the Digger faithful something to keep them warm. Yeah, we like it too. With Digger out, you would think Lonnie Childers and Bigfoot would cakewalk through the grid. But in round one, the scaly Chevy known as Reptoid is able to take advantage of an overheated Bigfoot engine and advance into the next round, where he would battle Predator. Tom Mintz and Monster Patrol were slated to face King Crunch, but a broken transmission in the previous round knocked Crunch out. Taking his place, the aptly named Survivor. Monster Patrol has some troubles with the muddy U-turn course as Chuck Jordan and Survivor advanced into the final round. In the finals, Reptoid gets the free pass around the Coliseum when Survivor blows a cylinder at the start. With over $100,000 in damages to the monster trucks, officials were forced to cancel freestyling. But still, the fans got their money's worth.
Jerry, show me your best monster moment.
Jerry, can I see your best monster moment?
Monster moment.
This week, we look back at 3 of the more memorable crashes from the end of the steel body age of monster truck racing, the late 1980s. Now, number 3 comes from 1988 in Richmond, Virginia, where you see Greg Holbrook and the Equalizer landing hard and awkwardly on the crushed cars. Now, Holbrook emerges from the carnage a little bit dazed, but without a scratch. As for the Equalizer, it needed more than a few weeks in the shop to recover from this wild spill. Our number 2 pick comes from 1989, the site Kalamazoo, Michigan, where the sunset wasn't the only dramatic sight to be seen. Watch the right of your screen as King Crunch has trouble on the landing and flips the beast over, amazingly, with only minimal damage. Our number 1 pick will come from inside the Raleigh State Fairgrounds in North Carolina from who else but Dennis Anderson and the Gravedigger, driving Digger number 2, which was a 1951 Ford body with a Chevy motor. Anderson gets a little bit reckless and takes out a telephone pole, disrupting service to over 60 customers.
Paul, I kind of fool around a lot. Think I could do what you do?
I don't know. I've seen you a couple of times in makeup. You're not a real pretty guy.
Oh, well, I don't want to say anything like that. Okay, we're going to toss now to San Antonio Monsters. Great action. You ready?
I'm ready.
San Antonio, Texas was once known for the Alamo. Now it's known for high-flying, full-throttle, car-crushing action. 48,133 monster maniacs were riveted to their seats for racing on the drag-style straight-line course. In early round action, Dennis Anderson's Gravedigger against Bustin' Loose. In typical Digger fashion, he broke the rear end, then slammed the 50 Chevy hard into the safety wall. Digger seems to always find a way to get the crowd pumped up. Moving to other first round action, Monster Patrol and Reptoid both got some major air off the crushed cars. Advantage, Monster Patrol. Bigfoot knocked Survivor out of the running with his smooth run. Then the world-famous Ford demolished any hopes King Crunch had in making his way to the finals. In the process, the big blue Ford landed so hard, he destroyed his side door mirror. Monster Patrol defeating Bustin' Loose to set up a legendary final round matchup. Now, Bigfoot has the early edge off the crushed cars as they go to war in the finals. But Tom Mintz drilled the 1995 Chevy Monster Patrol past the Ford for the victory. In the freestyle, Tom Mintz does his memorable and trademark wing walk to celebrate the victory. Dan Runte, not to be outdone this time, climbed out of the 1996 Ford and saluted the near-capacity crowd.
As the host inside Monster Jam, they told me I could do whatever I wanted. You know what I wanted to do? I wanted to come to Dallas a day early. Yeah, the Monster Truck show is tomorrow. But tonight, AMA SuperCross in the house in Dallas right now going on. And it is muddy. Don't despair. These guys are the best at what they do. And the Monster Truck drivers, they're up there in the booth right now checking it out. Because if it's got a motor, we're watching it. Hello!
Monster.
Hello!
Sometimes on IMJ, it's easier said than done.
Let's do it again. You ready? 1, 2, 3.
Hello,
inside
ESPN
on Monster Jam 2.
Then again, it's easier for some than others.
You're watching Inside Monster Jam. Yeah!
Oh, was that too loud? Sorry.
Modified off-road buggies.
With over 60,000 spectators inside Houlihan Stadium, off-road buggies tore it up in Tampa, Florida. Off the line, K99 James Lair broke out with the lead over number 618 Marty Neary. A fan favorite number 613 Robbie Johnson was knocked out late in the race with a flat tire, so with 2 laps remaining, it was Neary taking the inside line past Lair for the lead and the eventual race victory.
Do not move. We'll be back with more Inside Jam right after this. Monster Inside Jam. Do not move. We'll be right back with more Inside Monster Jam right after this.
Okay, as usual, hanging out with the ladies, but my buddy Adam Murphy went into the pits. In-depth perspective on sand drags. 2,000 horsepower. These things are beasts, aren't they? No, now you talk.
Yes.
Now in pits with the sand drags. Now this event got started when a couple of guys took their 4x4s and ran them through the mud. And guess what? Now it's a United States Hot Rod Association event.
It's a 540 cubic inch Rodak, putting out about 2,000 horsepower. It's blown, injected on alcohol. 0 to 60 in about 1.3 seconds on a 70-foot track.
Was there any kind of switch that cuts the engine?
Oh yeah, this red switch, it's an emergency shut-off switch. If something's wrong and you hit that, it'll shut the motor right off. Well, it's really fast. When you lay into the throttle pedal, it's like being in a tunnel. It goes blank and all you can see is straight in front of you, and it lasts about 1.3 seconds.
Hey, how about them sand drags? 0 to 60 in 2 seconds. How about this tidbit? See this tire here? $2,100 a piece. How much do you have to put tires on this rig? $2,000, $4,000, $6,000, $8,000? Let me see if you know the answer to the Jammer Question of the Week.
Jammer Question of the Week.
Hi, I'm Lori. And I'm Renee. And our Jammer Question of the Week is... Hi, I'm Lori. And I'm Renee. And the Jammer Question of the Week is... What's the only truck with a wing on it?
A, Monster Patrol. B, Gravedigger. C, Wild Thing.
Hi, my name's Tom Metz, driver of Monster Patrol, and I am the answer to this week's Jammer Question of the Week. Monster Patrol is the only truck that implies a wing. It's used for downforce on the truck, and sometimes in freestyle we like to use it to surf on top of, get the crowd going. Unfortunately, a few weeks ago in Minneapolis, we had a little trouble with the wing. After a victory, we did a little too much celebrating. We spun around and flipped it over. Other than that, it works real well for us.
Next up on IMJ, we're going to take you to Charlotte Motor Speedway and show you, the viewer, how they build legend cars, where they manufacture them. Whoa. There you go. One more.
Okay, on Inside Monster Jam, you always get to meet new and exciting people. Finally, I had to crawl to the top of the roof to meet Humpy Wheeler. How you doing?
Oh, I just came up from the 4th row. The people are having a ball. This is pro football on wheels.
I want to know what made you decide to bring monster trucks here, right into the heart of hardcore motor racing.
Well, my buddies at Chevrolet wanted to really put a show on, and I said, let's bring the monster trucks in and let's pull the sand drags and all that other stuff, because they're big into trucks. And I said, yeah, let's do it. So I called Pace and I said, let's go, let's do it.
What about those legend cars? You had a little bit something to do with that, didn't you?
Yeah, we started the Legends car thing. They've sort of like rabbits, they've been multiplying. We've sold about 2,100 of them, and I'm thinking about building a Legends 4-wheel drive that we can do out here with a monster truck. Sort of the little brother.
The innovator, the man, the legend, the myth, Humpy Wheeler. How am I doing?
You're doing great.
All right. Humpy and I want to look at that piece. You went to the place where they checked out the legend cars, see how they were made.
Yeah.
I want to see it. I wasn't there. Let's roll it on Inside Monster Jam. Thank you for your time, sir. Let's get out of here before it starts raining, because when the black cloud comes over that roof, it's all over.
That's the irrigation system. No problem. Run in the mud.
Thanks again.
The old NASCAR modifieds, that's the era we went for. We started from 1934 with the Ford sedan and all the way up to a 1940 Ford Coupe. But that's the name Legends. It came from the Legends of NASCAR. This is a 92,000 square foot shop with 39 full-time employees. It all starts right here. This is the chassis fabrication department. You see the steel is brought in 20-foot lengths of raw material. It's cut with a computer bender, fitted for each part of the Legends car chassis, and then they're actually put together in this area. The chassis are all taken to the paint shop and painted. They're brought back into the building at that point, and they're brought here where we install the chassis sheet metal. As you can see, we're using the Yamaha XJ1200 motorcycle engine. Has 122 horsepower, and the car only weighs 1,080 pounds. So the power to horsepower ratio power to weight ratio is very high. Okay, and this is the actual assembly area. 330 different components are used to build one Legends car. Right now we can see our technician installing the rear end assembly. This is taken out of the junkyard. It's a Toyota Celica 1976 or 1981 rear end assembly. This series is a spec racing series. All the cars must compete under the same rules and regulations, so there is no performance enhancing modifications. However, we can do some things in this area like install chrome wheels. We have oil cooling devices, air ducting devices, things that might help the engine to live longer, things of that nature. That is the most popular body style that 600 Racing sells. That is a 1934 Ford sedan. 6 out of every 10 cars we build are of that particular body style. Okay, this is the final step in the assembly of a Legends car. In this area, the cars are detailed, the bumpers are installed, and the Nerf bars are installed. Each car is then cleaned, and we wax the body shell so that it leaves here looking in tip-top shape. Well, we're averaging 65 cars every month right now. So we can do, on a good day, we can knock out 6 cars. So a lot of the Winston Cup drivers do have Legend cars for their sons because it is truly a sport where the driver emphasis is a key factor in their success.
Inside the sold-out Providence Civic Center, fans were able to get close to their favorite drivers during the pre-race autograph session. Eric Tack and the newest Bigfoot faced off in qualifying against Pat Suma and the 1987 Toyota Thrasher. Tack had no problems navigating the Chicago-style roundy-round course as the Big Blue Ford advanced to the next round. Joe Bagdonis and American Guardian didn't have it so easy on the tacky dirt as the 1946 Chevy tow truck Towasaurus edged him out at the line. Guardian would advance as the fast loser. Despite some good air, Mike Nitschke and Rambo fell short against Brian Welch and the Monster Patrol. Even adding additional firepower would not be good enough for the Guardian as he loses in the semifinals to Monster Patrol as Brian Welch rolled on in Providence. And it was the Bigfoot Ford knocking Towasaurus off to set up a Chevrolet versus Ford showdown in the final round with Bigfoot meeting the Monster Patrol Chevy. In the finals, it was Bigfoot blasting off the line and drilling the Ford around the Civic Center course. He easily defeats Monster Patrol for the victory. Ever wonder what makes this rocket machine motor? Must be that cute stuffed animal.
SuperCross.
Ohio's Irwin J. Nutter Center was filled to capacity for super truck racing. Alan Graves and his Sky Blue number 43 Dodge were out front until number 3, Kathy Sartorius, and number 6, Eldon Hampton, took the inside line for the pass. Hampton then used that same move to go past Sartorius for the lead with 3 laps to go. The next time around, the number 3 Chevy tried the same maneuver, but as Hampton went to shut the door on her, they made contact. Hampton ended up going wide as Sartorius took the checkered flag.
It's a closer look.
Well, you're definitely playing and having a good time when you have a custom paint job like the Gravedigger. The graveyard scene, did you notice, people, on some of the graves? There's some competitors' names, Bigfoot, Carolina Crusher. There's a little dig, huh?
Yeah, it is. And you know, and you know what? Some of those guys, I was afraid when I first put it on there, it kind of like, they get an attitude. Heck, these guys are actually kind of jealous because they're not on there sometime. You're like, how come my truck? I'm not good enough to be on there?
Is that funny? What a strange concept.
I know it. And I was afraid it was going to be the other way around.
How about the Gravedigger concept? Where did that come from?
I made it up, and I had an old guy there at home do the paint scheme. I made up the name, and he created a paint job for me to go along with the name that I'd made up. But, man, I just made it up one night and sprayed it on the side of an old pickup truck that I had. It was just junk, you know, but man, everybody knew it and everybody loved it, and it just lived forever, it seemed like. Hi, I'm Dennis Anderson, driver of Gravedigger. Inside Monster Jam. We'll be right back.
Stadium Rough Trucks.
The only thing bigger than the Arch in St. Louis is Stadium Rough Trucks inside the TWA Dome. Ed Busch didn't make it out of qualifying with this disastrous run. To the fans' delight, he busted the front axle on the Chevy and was finished. In the four-truck final shootout, Donald Clark had his troubles on the whoop section, clocking a disappointing 18:06 for third place. Jim Kemper shaved a tenth of a second off his qualifying time as his 7.34-second run was fast enough for the overall victory. You know, a 30-minute show is really just 23 minutes, so there's always footage the editors cut out. Here's some behind the scenes and not aired heats from the Nashville event.
Red belly moccasins, they're nice snakes. They don't hurt you. But the cottonmouth moccasins, buddy, they're bad. They'll hurt you.
Oh boy. Enough with the snake. Bring on the stunt snake or the stunt host for IMJ because the snake is poisonous and we don't have a medevac tent here. Let's keep it moving.
See how I turned that right around?
Right.
ArenaCross from Nashville.
ArenaCross.
The motorcycle racing was fast and furious inside the new Nashville arena. Number 25, Brandon Hazelwood of Fresno, California, moved into the lead past number 345, Jim Sokol of Charlotte, North Carolina. Hazelwood was responsible for this bottleneck at the corner where number 93, Tom Luther, was forced to eat some Tennessee dirt. Even Bobby Cox couldn't keep up with Hazelwood, who rode well and took the checkered flag. Luther, still a little mad about this fall, took his frustrations out on Chad Stanko at the finish line. It just goes to show how intense the USHRA ArenaCross is.
I'm Debbie Zingarelli from Nashville, inside Monster Jam. We'll be right back.
That's it.
Okay, I'm standing outside the Citrus Bowl. You know what? Monster Jam is the only cool thing in town tonight. Race Rock, it's a restaurant on the other side of town, totally dedicated to motorsports. Bobby Moore, he thought of this whole concept for himself. This place is chock full of goodies. Bob, why don't you tell us all about it?
Thanks, Jerry. Now we're in front of Race Rock in Orlando, Florida. In front of Race Rock, we have the Grave Digger, which we're hoping is going to be a new addition to our next Race Rock that's going to be opening soon in Las Vegas. Also, in the front of the building here, we have the Smokin' Joe Unlimited Turbine Hydroplane. We have Richard Childers' number 3 Good Wrench truck. And over here we have Richard Petty's STP 43 Pontiac. And Jerry, do we have trucks? In our front lobby, we have 2 Ford Aeromax prototypes that were donated by Ford Heavy Truck. Connected to those are merchandise trailers. Over our Hostess stand, we also have the Samson monster truck. Now we're in the front foyer that leads into the main dining room and bar area. And in this front foyer, in these glass cases, are all my partners. Starting over here, we have Jeff Bodine, Don the Snake Verdome, Jeff Gordon over here, John Force. We have the King, Richard Petty, Michael Andretti, Rusty Wallace, and Kyle Petty. And these are only a few. Race Rock is a motorsports themed restaurant, and it's not just segregated to one type of motorsports. It's everything from stock cars, the dragsters, the unlimited hydroplanes, the monster trucks, to radio-controlled cars, to soapbox derby cars. And Jerry, after the monster truck race tonight, I want to see you in here eating some crashed potatoes and nitro wings.
Outlaw Quad Wars.
Wearing white and representing the South was Team California, while those bad boys in black, Team New York, came to defend the honor of the North. On the Le Mans start, you can see just how intense the Outlaw Quad Wars series is. New York got out front early, but Craig Matthews was quicker through the whoop section and overtakes 2 black shirts. Lead changes were as common as pigeons in Central Park, but the most controversial was when California's team captain Nick Rudland sent New York captain Fred Shepard to the wall. Now, no penalty was issued as California cruises to the checkered, taking the top 2 spots. Our IMJ Quad War regional scoreboard shows Team South getting the early jump on the North. Later on in the show, we'll see if Team North can finally get their act together in Miami. Press from around the world came out to cover the El Paso Monster Jam. Fans once again had the opportunity to meet the USHRA stars of monster truck racing at the pit party. For Jack Kobima and Cyborg, the Sun Bowl was their debut race on the USHRA circuit, and they instantly became a fan favorite.
It's always exciting when you get here and you start seeing a lot of the stars you see on TV, and you know all your time of doing this. We've been doing this for 17 years on other places. And when we get to come into a show like this where there's a lot of named trucks, you know, you really got a good thing going. Well, the Cyborg's a 92 Dodge Viper body, C6 automatic. So we're putting a lot of power to the wheels, 800 horsepower going directly to the back wheels instead of having to split it between front and rear wheels. So hopefully with this concept we can get out there and show them something tonight.
Going against the giants of the sport wasn't going to be easy, but Cyborg wasn't about to let a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity pass him by. In a true David versus Goliath qualifying matchup, Cyborg advanced to the next round when Pablo Huffaker and Gravedigger broke the rear drive. Even with the support of 34,000 monster maniacs hungry for an underdog victory, though, Cyborg couldn't pull off the upset against Predator. However, when Ron Nelson had busted loose, blew an engine on the next run, it would be Cyborg who advanced to the semifinal round.
Oh, this is a great night. This is real good. You know, it's not every day when you get to come and race and enjoy yourself.
Chuck Reynolds ruined the Cinderella story as he edged Cyborg at the finish line and moved on to the finals. Tom Mintz and Monster Patrol would then come on in the semifinals. He shoots by Alan Pizzo and the Predator to earn the other berth in the finale. Now behind the scenes, Pablo Huffaker was frantically trying to get Gravedigger up and running so he could get him to come back in freestyle competition. He even enlisted the help of his arch rival Tom Mintz and Monster Patrol.
It's really not unusual. Everybody comes out here and helps. A lot of times you only have 2 men on your crew, and you know we're ready to go. We're set to go again, and you know Paul needs a little help, and I'll be more than happy to come over and help him because he does the same for me all the time.
We're taking parts off one end, putting them on the back, and we'll run her in 2-wheel drive and just let her eat. If she falls over, she falls over.
All that hard work paid off as Huffaker and Digger blasted out of the tunnel to give the West Texas fans a spectacular freestyle with only 2-wheel drive. Mintz blew out his engine in Monster Patrol in the finals and was unable to close out the night with a freestyle, but it was a great night for the fans and a great night for the champion, Tom Mintz and Monster Patrol.
I come over the first set of cars, and you know I knew he was right there, and I felt the motor coming apart. I could feel it, but I just kept my foot in it. You know, I wanted to win. Just a shame it happened, or I'd have really went out there and put on a show afterwards.
IMJ followed Monster Patrol driver Tom Mintz up the mountain.
It's been a long, hard climb, but I'm king of the mountain, Monster Patrol!
What you don't get to see or hear is the El Paso police politely asking the IMJ guys to leave the mountain.
One more! Woo! Yeah! I am Monster Patrol, king of the mountain! Woo!
Thanks for coming.
Okay, come on down.
Then in a race down the mountain, it's IMJ television producer Jason Sharman. He is single, girls.
And now it's time for the Jammer Question of the Week.
Jammer Question of the Week.
Hi, I'm Corey, and my Jammer Question of the Week is how many Jammer... Hi, I'm Corey, and my Jammer Question of the Week is how many different tracks is there for monster truck racing? I did it again. One more? I think I got it. Hi, I'm Corey, and my Jammer Question of the Week is how many different tracks are there for monster truck racing?
A9, B42, C3.
I'm Dennis Anderson, driver of a Gravedigger monster truck. I have this week's Jammer answer. We have 3 basic tracks that we run on. We've got straight line course, roundy round, and U-turn. This roundy round is Chicago style. That's my favorite as far as turning courses. That's a chase race. And other than that, straight line racing is about the fastest we get going outside the United States Hot Rod Association.
Can I turn this up? Hi, how you doing?
Fine.
Who's your favorite monster truck driver?
Gravedigger.
You mean Dennis Anderson?
Stadium Rough Trucks.
Inside the jam-packed Minneapolis Metrodome, Stadium Rough Trucks rolled onto center stage. Racing on the straight line course, Ed Wenning tested the shocks in his truck. He clocked in with a run of 12.94. It wasn't Craig Peterson's night. He slammed the front end hard, but made it to the finish line in 23 seconds. In the Ford truck final round, Virtual Reality was out front against Butterfly when he busted the front wheel and suffered a stack fire. Showing the typical determination we've come to expect from the rough truck drivers, he continued on to the finish line, believe it or not, with a second place overall. Because of the other final round, Greg Reedu's Craigster and Sonny Dorman both had problems with the final round U-turn course and crashed out. Virtual Reality is your winner.
When we come back on Inside Monster Jam, I will own all this equipment. Can you ever guess where I am right now? Here's a little hint.
What's this thing got in it? It's got a big block shovel in it. 496 cubic inches, about 600 horsepower. Sounds like it. When's the last time you drove it? About 2 years ago. Well, we're just going to take it down to Pickett's for lunch. What's going to eat down there, man? I don't know. I haven't been to Pickett's. I've been racing for the last 9 weeks. They might have forgotten me. They might not even know me down here.
I'm local. I'm from here, and we support Gravedigger all the way.
Ever eat lunch with Dennis Anderson? Jerry Bernardo did. Here's what you didn't see on IMJ.
Okay, what is this anyhow? Okay, this is a soft shell crab. Hold it up to the camera. Wah, wah, soft shell crab, okay? This, do you catch the crab when it's going through a stage? You know, it's a hard shell like a blue-clawed crab. Okay, well then when they shed their shell, they turn soft after they pop out of their old shell and they grow bigger and bigger. And so there's just a little short season for them. These are really expensive to eat, so it was really cool that Pickett's gave us like plates of them. But this is the best bite of the whole crab right here. They actually have soft shell crab sandwiches. Can I just say one thing right now? Aren't the Pickett's the greatest? Yeah. And you know, it's deep fried, so it's fat free. Eating healthy with Dennis Anderson on the Fat Free channel, ESPN2. I would never do something like that. I am a human being. I am not an animal. Thanks, Rachel. She loves me. She loves me not. She loves me. She loves me not. Can we say sucking down soft shell crab?
That's it for the soft shell crab lunch here at Pickett's. That was good stuff. You like it?
Yeah, man, it's the greatest.
Okay, my buddies at USHRA put together all this killer race footage. Victories, oh, of course, some rare race footage, crashes. Oh, gotta see that. The video right there, Domination with Dennis Anderson. What do you think?
It's cool, man. I've seen footage from it, and I was there. They were there with me making it. And there's some of the stuff that I didn't even really think that they'd show. It's really behind the scenes. It's going to be great.
All right, let's check it out on IMJ, which is Inside Monster Jam. Greatest show in the world. Thank you very much.
The intensity would be turned up for the Outlaw Quad War Series in the South Florida Heat. Team Miami in white represented the South, and those bad boys from the North, Team New York in black. Number 91, Eric J. cuts the corner to move by Dan Jenkins and give Miami the lead. On the final lap, Jenkins shoves back out front. Miami's team captain is able to show that South Florida spirit by squeezing past the Brooklyn native. He's just able to stay in front of Jenkins as they cross the finish line. If the loss wasn't bad enough for Team New York, their plane was delayed 8 hours in Miami due to ice and snow in the Northeast. Hey, sorry, guys. Our scoreboard shows the South building up the big lead early, but with next week's race in Philadelphia, you know the North will try to take advantage of the home track. Stay tuned.
Monster Trucks.
Husband and wife battled it out on the short straight line course. Craig Christensen and Dragon Slayer defeating significant other Julie Christensen and Misbehaving. All domestic disputes should be settled on the course, shouldn't they? Sky Hartley and Bigfoot stomped out Joe Cypher and Airborne Ranger, and the Big Blue Ford just edged out Dragon Slayer. That put him in the finals. Pablo Huffacre would be in Dennis Anderson's Gravedigger, matched up twice with Priority 1. Advantage Digger both times, which earned a final round berth. The sold-out Arco Center fans had a chance to watch another epic Chevy versus Ford final round showdown. A close one, as Gravedigger just edged out Bigfoot at the line. Digger's strategy was to stay low, and it worked. In freestyle, both of these legendary trucks came back out, and they would put on an exclamation point to a great night of racing at Arco Arena in Sacramento.
Coming up next with another monster moment.
Here's a little known fact.
Cheesy?
Rob auditioned for the co-host position.
Coming up next, another monster moment.
Adam got it.
Did y'all get some autographs tonight?
Yeah.
Jerry, show me your best monster moment.
Monster moment.
Despite the name, monster trucks haven't always been traditional trucks. Beginning in the late 80s, alternative body styles began appearing, and greats such as the Monster Vet, tank trucks, and monster vans were born. The early to mid-90s saw the first generation of concept trucks. These are traditional trucks with modified front or side bodies. Snakebite started the trend in '91 with the Fang teeth, and others soon followed. The newest generation of trucks evolving are full-blown concept trucks. Take a look at Dungeon of Doom and Wild Thing. These trucks dare to get wild by throwing tradition to the wind. What's next? Only time will tell. 38,908 Michigan fans saw some of the best stadium light action on the final 2 laps. Number 1, St. Robert moved into the lead when number 70, Mike Cherry, lost it in the corner. Only a quarter of a lap later, Cherry's hopes of a win were dashed when he tangled with Clint Woodsey. Meanwhile, on the final lap, Roberts almost tipped over his rig. He's just able to bring it down and safely maneuvered it to the finish line. Woodsey, Randy Lasnowski, and Cherry followed behind.
Final showdown.
In the final showdown at the Orlando Citrus Bowl, it was Fred Schaefer over Little Tiger. Barefoot utilized his 16 years of experience off the line and became our 1/900 pro race winner.
You know the saying, who's the man? Tonight, it'd have to be Barefoot.
Yeah, that age and experience, these turning courses, it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy doing this.
Well, when you take the win, you really get to show up. I saw you backing her into the wall. I go, uh-oh, he's going for the big, big air.
Yeah, the fans really like to see the air, and we tried to get that new Dodge Ram flying up in the air nice and high for the fans, and thank the fans for supporting me down here.
That may have been the end of the first IMJ TV show, but the cameras rolled on, and so did we.
How about this crowd in the Citrus Bowl down here in Orlando? I guess it sets a record for the most attending an event. It was somewhere around 50,000 people. Were they behind you today? Is that what kind of helped you pull out the W?
Yeah, it really makes you feel good. I mean, everybody's excited. They're jumping out of their seats out there, and get you pumped up when you're in your seat. You want to get out there and put on a good show for them.
What's up with that, man?
Oh, hell.
Good, because we weren't doing good anyhow. We're going to fool around even more.
Take 2. That's take 2.
Okay, this is really serious.
Okay. Well, friends, everyone runs out of tape sometimes, and we just had enough left to show you how it really ended. That's it for Best of IMJ Volume 1. We'll see you next time.